back. Episode 2. We are here. Welcome to the Countdown Podcast. Countdown 2 Podcast. Too bad I didn't know my own podcast.
All right, here we go.
All right, I'm Leighton.
I'm Drew.
We're brothers.
From same mother.
From the same mother and father.
Well, that we know of. We're going to edit that one out. Well, we've always joked around that you're adopted.
Yeah, because I was a surprise.
It still are.
Episode 2 for the Countdown 2 podcast, where we are counting down our own goal to Moab, that we're prepped mentally, physically, emotionally to ride the whole enchilada, 28 miles, 8,000 feet descent. And this episode, we're going to be tackling mindset, which is the core of change. So we'll be getting into what that means to us, what has helped us get through, and go from there.
Is that your recap of last week's episode?
Mm-hmm.
The pilot episode?
Last week we talked about why we wanted to make a change, what was our reasoning, and then kind of the start, our aha moment that we really needed to get through. And we got wiggles today. So if you're just jumping in now, it's a very good start to this journey. We are inviting you guys to come along with us, learn with us, and hopefully we can help you guys get through what you're going through too, and let us be your community.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to see you again.
It is great to see you. It's been way too long.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Been a while. We live in 2 different states.
Yes, sir.
I'm in Washington. He's in
Northern California.
Yeah, which is a different state all
Yeah.
Mental state.
Jefferson.
Yeah. Do it. No, please no. Welcome aboard. I think we're both really passionate about this episode.
Yeah.
Just mindset, mindfulness, and not I'll say what it is for me, you say what it is for you, but the way we approached it and came about it, things had to change, and for order for us to change, it wasn't just, hey, let's go jump into working out body-wise. It was definitely like, oh, our brain muscle needs to change too. And we both come to the table in different areas for that. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited not only to share what worked for me, what had to change for me, but also to dig into yours as well, because you were way more screwed up than me.
True.
And so that... So, I mean, yeah, so your leaps and bounds had to change for you. Maybe I should tell everybody your story and you tell mine.
Did you even know?
No, I'm just going to make it up. Yeah.
It's like I kept everything to myself. And I told everyone I was okay. That was the... But in seriousness, that was the problem. Mm-hmm. Like, this wasn't just like, oh, I think I'm going to go change my life. It was also hurtling over depression,
mm-hmm.
which is like ridiculously real and
crippling.
And all of it kind of started very slowly. When I first moved to Portland, I got a family doctor, and he was just coming from California. He was like, "How are you dealing with the rain? Like, how's it mentally? Like, how are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And then diving into some depression forming in me, and he just stopped me. He was just like, you're going to be you again. Like, depression is a disease in your head that is telling you lies, and it's feeding you, and it's real, and it's there, and you could be you again. And that just like, because I was like, is this just who I am now? Am I just stuck here? And so I went like this afterwards of trying and then failing and trying and failing, just getting over that side of things. So it's so we will also be talking about how going through those hurdles, because it's not as easy as like, oh, I think I'm gonna make a change and then I'm gonna eat right, cool, let's do it.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I mean, that's not an alright quote. Probably a reused.
It's Gandhi, son.
Yeah. Who's that? I'm showing.
East.
I think East is out.
Is it? I'm usually so good at that too.
It might be. I don't know. Newtown.
True.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's that way. Anyway.
Can we record that again? You think I'm what?
I think you're gone. What?
Right. I'm right.
You're right. Okay.
Yes. You heard it here. So, no, absolutely. And I think actually it's funny that doc said that, because I remember going to the doctor when I moved up to Pacific Northwest and being like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? And I had never heard of seasonal depression before.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah,
Lack of sunshine. What? And he's like, yeah, looking at your numbers, man, you are depleted. I think that the range is like, now I'm going to get this wrong. But the range is like in the hundreds, like the low range that you want to be in is in the hundreds. I was like at 12.
Oh, it's great.
Here's some horse
You
pills.
weren't dead yet.
Well,
just
not
almost
quite.
there.
Yeah, exactly. I was dead to life.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, mindset for me, and especially with tackling where we were from not working out. If you heard our last episode, our pilot episode, we were talking about how just making that change later on in life to work out, to change our habits and all that stuff like that, to even now adjusting to our goal, our countdown to Moab. You as a listener, your countdown to whatever you're doing, the change of mind that has to happen in order to not just do it, but do it successfully, is huge.
Yeah.
And the mindset, and whether that be overcoming fear, overcoming doubt, the story, the narrative you tell yourself on a daily basis when things get hard or tough, or I guess that's the same thing. It's
hard and tough.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like once I adjusted my thinking, and I don't mean it was overnight, it was a daily grind of switching thinking. Once I adjusted that, then all of a sudden my body started coming on board. Like, oh, we're changing what comfort is.
Yeah.
We're changing what even pain is. I mean, I have a different relationship with pain now and mindset towards pain based off of
weirdo.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds total, psycho or whatnot, but it's like, but I understand pain now. I understand what it's doing, and I understand like what my body needs and wants to do when it receives pain. And that changes everything for me.
Yeah.
I'll speak to myself.
Yeah.
But it's
well, and last week I kind of realized in walking in my faith, even, is like, it's so easy to be like, God, why are you doing this to me? I'm a great person. And now that I'm through everything he's put me through, I'm like, oh, he was teaching me like 80 lessons on how to become. And I chose not to fail and run. I chose to face them. And part of that of when I decided to, like, where we decided to change our lives, mindset is what kind of prepped me to that, to hear what God's calling is for me on raising a family or whatever, like I'm a completely different person, and a person that I'm proud of and doesn't really care that much about what other people think about it, and which is totally different for me. I used to be like, oh, I hope someone likes me, or I hope this. I'm just like, I'm me, and I'm proud of that.
I'm proud of that too.
Thank you, sir.
I'm proud that you're you.
You're not me.
I'm glad you're not a mistake. Or, I mean, you were a surprise and a darn good one.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I don't know what to deal with compliments anymore.
and our journeys were different in even discovering mindsets and different things. I mean, mine really came in the form of understanding the process in our brains, like the deep limbic system and how that plays into everything.
Yeah.
And I'm no brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this podcast. But I'm joking.
You'd probably be depressed.
I would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If you were a brain surgeon, yeah.
Yeah, I would be. That's a boring job. Boring as hell.
No fulfillment whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. But just even understanding the deep limbic system and how it's created for that, like I was saying earlier, it's like the safety measure, like, oh, hey, that there's a cliff there, stay back. It gives us that fear.
Oh yeah.
But it also, it's constantly learning. It's constantly learning, like, and I'm oversimplifying this, but you're here's pleasure.
Yeah.
What's the shortest route to that pleasure?
Yeah.
And by pleasure, I mean, it can be negative pleasure. It could be, alcohol. It could be, whatever the escape is from pain. That's its goal, is to get there as soon as possible. So it will create pathways to that to make it faster, to where every time you feel pain, boom, it wants to go over here fast. So it'll constantly push you towards that. Again, way oversimplifying it. I'm sure somebody get on here and be like, oh, that's not actually correct, but I don't care.
Exactly.
Get your own podcast, and then you do.
Let's fight. Episode be episode.
Yeah, and so now on this side of pain, now on this side of learning about it and wanting to, what we're doing later on in life, get into healthy lifestyle habits, working out, eating out, stuff like that, I understand like the relationship to where it's like, okay, my brain wants me to go here because it was used to that.
Right.
And no, I need to reprogram it to, nope, this pain's okay. This is taking me to a place where my body's going to learn how to handle this pain and adjust correctly. As muscles are, you're breaking down the tissue and the fibers and all that stuff like that for it to rebuild and be stronger. And the brain's the same way, kind of thing. And so once I understood that, like, I'm not fearing pain. I'm not running away from it as much. I'm understanding it more. And then I can speak to that mindful set. And that's only one side of mindfulness that we're talking, or the mindset that we're talking about. But a huge one for me in this transformation.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. I, just cause you mentioned we kind of had a different approach a little bit on mindset. Like when I mentioned in the pilot episode that, one of my turning points was Braden, Binghurst riding the whole enchilada backwards, which is where our countdown kind of came from, to be able to ride in Moab. Anyways, he had mentioned Dr. Craig Manning, one of his professors, who wrote book we read, The Fearless Mind. And like in that book, like he uses tennis, and it's like we never played freaking tennis.
Yeah, he's a tennis coach.
And like we talk about mountain biking because that's our sport. And so like these are all principles that you can use for your own life, may it be a sport or not. But yeah, it was just talking. I wish I had all the points right in front of me of that book. But that's where I was like, starting to think about like changing your mind, to live fearlessly, to where you can conquer anything. And then that led me to, my CrossFit community, for my coach, who all the time, like if we're, I can't keep going. He's like, yes, you can. You're in last episode, you referenced, David Goggins and how, what your brain will, what?
Come on. I'm waiting for you to nail the quote. Do you remember the quote?
That your brain will stop you before your body of what I was getting there, and you just had to freaking your face.
Wait, my face said that?
Yes.
Wow. Cool.
Your face speaks volumes without any volume coming out. Speaking in the spirit. Yeah. Anyways, he'd always say like your brain is going to stop you before what your body can handle. I'm kind of butchering that, but like your brain is trained to stop your body before you die. Like, it's protecting you. But if you're in a workout stance, like, you're not going to die. So you have to push through, and then that's where your body can go more as you get into the uncomfortable zone and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Where do you see that with our listeners? Like, if they're just starting their workout journey or starting their countdown or midway through, how do you see that playing out?
Walk one block further than what you want to do. When you're like, oh, dude, my knee, or, I'm tired, just go a little bit further each time.
When you've done that, what do you find at the end of that block?
Success, happy, fulfillment of like, oh, I did it. Like, I still reference this all the time at the beginning of my like CrossFit journey. I remember doing box jumps, and I was one of the last to finish, and I could not keep going. I couldn't breathe. I was hurting, and I had my coach here, and I had one of our big dudes over here, Bobo, and they're yelling, motivational yelling of jump, just telling me when to jump, because my body is second guessing. My mind is second guessing what I can do. And I remember, and I kept jumping, and I remember, trying to finish the workout. I was like, I yelled at them. I was like, I can't breathe. And they're like, dude, you're breathing right now.
You're able to talk.
Yeah, you're able to talk. Exactly. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So I just kept going, and it was really hard. And then I finished, and it ended with just like, dude, you killed that. Like, like it was never yelling and like, you should be able to do this more. It's, you can. We know you could do more. Like, and keep going.
Now, have you ever been in a situation, in any other area of your life where you've referenced back to that, like, oh man, I accomplished that.
Yeah.
I can accomplish this too.
Yeah, all the time. Well, and I use it all the time in telling people on both A, training your mind, and B, the importance of community, which we'll get into in another episode. But because you're going to be your own worst critic. You're going to, oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't. And that is like, where train yourself to get out of that. Cause like, it translates to life. It translates to family. I jokingly say it all the time. But it's so real when anyone in my life will be like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you already just told yourself you can, not with that attitude. Like, and it sounds cliche, but it's so true. Say you can do it. And if you can't, then you weren't the one to get in your own way. Be your number one cheerleader. Be your own cheerleader instead of your own worst critic. The whole world's going to be against you, because that's just how we're bred. So fight for yourself and do it every day. Fail some days, mess up some days, but just keep going. Walk the extra block, ride the extra mile, lift one more set, whatever. And then, and it builds every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you had a moment when you're biking, because you're very passionate about biking, for biking, one of those over there with two wheels, non
there's trikes,
there's not electric,
there's training wheels, not electric. No, thank you. I suck at climbing, but no.
Where you are like, you have tackled something that's scary, something that you want to have been able to do before, but because of these examples in the gym or examples with community or whatnot, were you able to accomplish anything come to mind there?
Yeah, well, even because I got kind of comfy the last couple of weeks. I realized right before we shot the pilot episode, the night before, we went and swam in ice cold pool in the bucketing rain.
That's right.
Which was fun. But normally I'd be like, yeah, let's go, like, let's do it. But I was like, oh, that sounds so terrible. I'm not much of a swimmer. And and I was like, what am I doing? Like, and then even when we jumped in the pool, I had to revert back to like the self-talk of like, because immediately I got flooded with like, okay, what if I get hypothermia?
Cramp up.
I also thought, I apologize, I cannot name him, but the guy that passed in the CrossFit Games last year, in 2024, he drowned, and I thought of him while swimming, but I had to be like, no, I'm okay. heart, you're okay. You're fluttering and it's cold. Let's keep going. Keep yourself calm.
Yeah.
And to keep going. And that's another thing your body's going to self-sabotage on survival mode.
So once you did make that transition, how was the rest of it?
I then realized I'm swimming really well. Like I was just like, oh, I haven't swam in forever, and I'm not winded, and I'm going, and you're the swimmer. I was keep being with you.
I'm the swimmer.
Michael Phelps, who?
No, I'm not a swimmer.
Anyways, you're more of a swimmer than
more
me.
than you because I have access to a pool. Yeah,
True. And you used to surf and whatnot.
Now,
Sorry, currently surf.
What? No, gosh, no. Did the fact that you were naked add anything or take away?
I loved it. That helped so much. Naked and happy, not afraid.
We have video, but we are clothed.
But we are clothed,
Don't be afraid of seeing the video. Yeah, I really wanted to go. I wanted, this was your mistake. You said, Drew, come up with a workout plan while we're together, and so I knew you weren't a swimmer, and.
How can I make him fail?
Yeah, well, no, I didn't want you to fail. I just wanted to have fun with you.
Yeah. It was a blast. I had a great time.
And I was hoping to swim, do 50 push-ups, swim a lap, do 50 sit-ups, and then just keep going until you fail. But I didn't take into account how cold it was.
Yeah.
And
you're
just
in California.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's always warm there, right? And so the muscle fatigue instantly, so we didn't last very long. I'm cold just thinking about it, but no, those are great examples of, there's plenty of times where I'm actually riding on the trail going, no, Drew, you're okay. You got this.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
And my mind just goes into a dark place of like, oh my gosh, okay, slow down, you're going to die. And usually when you slow down or make way because you're afraid, that's when you do wreck or die because you're not flowing, you're not, you're not in the right mindset to be able to, go after what you're doing. But I love that aspect of like, just one more block. And you get to that block and 9 times out of 10, you're like, I could do one more.
Mm-hmm.
And you do one more. And then the next thing you know, you're back at home going like, wow, I did something that I didn't think possible.
Yeah.
I ran 8 miles, which I hate running, or I tell my son that hate is such a strong word.
Yeah.
Just for the sheer sake of what it's telling my brain, associating hate with running. But I don't like running that much because it hurts my knees. But when I have successful runs, it's like, oh man, that was great.
Oh yeah.
Man, that was awesome. Like I ran with a group of guys who, they're like, we're going to do 8 miles. I'm like, oh my gosh, the longest I've done is 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to die. And I'm just like, no, I'm just going to go with them. And we were talking the whole time. We ran 4 miles and it was an out and back. Ran 4 miles. Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's already time to turn around. We turn around and about 6.5 miles into it, my body was like, what's happening here? I don't,
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to really feel it, but it was enough to where I finished and it was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
I did that. I survived. My knees didn't die. It's awesome when you can get to that point where it's like, no, you're not going to control me.
Yeah.
I desire to do this. How far can we go?
Yeah. That has helped me a ton as well with, in CrossFit, like when we have WODs coming up, it's not just during the workout that I have to like talk myself out of it or correct my thinking during a workout. I had a lot of success in before the workout, right. Getting stoked on, oh, we're going to suffer. Oh, we're going to have a hard time. Oh, this is going to suck. Like in the best way because of the growth that's going to come from it. Like a lot of times my team or our team, they're just like, oh, wall balls or, certain workout that they hate. I'm like, dude, get excited about it. Trick yourself. Like, oh, burpees. Oh, just whatever, running even. Like, and I got so hyping other people up. I'm like, dude, let's freaking go. This is going to be brutal. This is going to be rough. And I learned a lot of that from my coach. And then during the workout, it's like, all right, buddy, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, keep pushing. And you know, maybe you didn't finish the workout or in the time frame, or maybe you finished it bad, but you finished it and you pushed yourself further than you did the day before. One of my good friends, like such a strong athlete, her name's Amy. She always wanted me to motivate her. This is not how I motivate everybody. This is not my go-to being a jerk, but
yeah, because I'd cry if you motivated me that way. So
yeah,
good point.
Well, she would ask me like, hey, talk shit to me basically when I'm working out. And there was one time where, because she's very strong-willed, we'll push through. And there was one time she's like, I can't do it, I can't going. And I just came up next to her and I was just like, who is this little bitch that I don't know? And that worked for her. And she laughed and was like, you're right. This is not who I am.
You are a jerk.
I know. I'm killing, but it's killing the inner weakness of that trying to come through. And it's like, no, say no. This is a battle. This is an absolute battle. My coach would be like, I'm murdering you guys for 2 hours a day. So the rest of the 22 hours you can conquer, you can destroy. Just give me this percentage of the day so that the rest of the day can be full of success.
Well, I like that because you were challenging her, calling her a name where she in her brain's going, no, I'm not that. I'm this.
Yeah.
I'm pushing through. I'm not going to be that. And that translates so much into everything.
Yeah.
Into the growth, into changing of your mind. And then it's like replace what you were calling her with whatever you call yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
and I wasn't even, I was choosing my words to you're not being this. It's who or it's not you're being this, but, who is this thing that's not you trying to come through? This isn't who you are.
Yeah.
I wasn't putting her down. I was putting down or at least having her notice what is trying to come out. It's like, no, kill that.
So
kill that to yourself.
You were speaking to her doubt and fear.
Yes. Yeah. Not to her doubt and fear.
Yeah.
Which is a different thing.
Totally. No, I like that. That's huge. And I feel like, it goes, how do I say this? It goes both ways in the sense of just our intake of anything to where, one thing I've really realized too in this process is okay, like we say, what are we hearing? What are we telling ourselves? We're limiting ourselves here, but then also, what am I allowing to come into me to that produces that? So sort of that garbage in, garbage out. Our surrounding environment, what's the messages being told us that we're believing and holding on to. For me, I had to stop social media. I had to stop just all these intakes to be able to get into the right frame of mind. And now, 3 years in, I can get into social media with limitations. I can get into social media with limitations because I don't believe the same messages, and I with those limitations I stay off of certain sites that are engineered to make me feel bad, so I buy their product, or
right, totally.
Or I want to be this muscular person or whatever the case may be, and so that's helped out a lot. And so I I had a better word for it. What was it? Not just intake, but I don't know. It translates into self-talk. It translates into affirmations. You are what you eat.
Yeah.
If you're eating a lot of garbage, that's what's going to come out.
Yeah.
You're going to think that. You're going to promote it, work it, keep it alive in you, kind of thing. So. Yeah.
That's why, lately, I don't do it enough, but even just in taking scripture, bringing the good in, so I can live better that way, and speak more life into people. But yeah, it's all this stuff. It's never putting down who you are, because that's not who you are. You're stronger than that. Don't accept it. Don't accept that you're a failure. Anything you've told yourself.
Yeah.
Your body is a machine, and yeah, you might be way further from your goal than other people, but from that process to getting to where you want to be, you'll be just a better person of like, because you had to fight that. You'll be stronger because you had to fight that extra harder than even us, like, because we were still kind of skinny, you know, or something like that. Not that I don't like to think of it like, oh, skinny is what we want to be, because there's people who are skinny who cannot gain weight and they hate it, you know.
Yeah, right.
That's their plateau, or no, that's their big problem that works to face already. Yeah, sorry, I'm like, I am not saying how I want to say it. But because that process was so hard, your celebration is so big. It's like, whoa, I lost 200 pounds, or I lost this much weight. And versus like some of the people who have great genetics, the great discipline off the bat, and they're just like, oh yeah. Speaking of mindset and just the difference, my first like 6 months into CrossFit, you know, I was where I wasn't strong yet. Like it was all discipline that was building, it was all mindset that was building and pushing through before adding more weight. Our class, our CrossFit class, we did a Tough Mudder, and it was a ton of fun. Like just
those are
hard, getting muddy and pushing through. And like, oh, let's do something really hard. In front of us, there was a team who were these like chiseled, ripped dudes, like, and lean too. It wasn't like, oh, we're big so we can't move really, but their mindset was garbage, absolute trash. Like they would complain about whatever, but they would give up immediately. Like finally, we were waiting for them to get over an obstacle that we helped them get over this obstacle. We pushed them through. There was this one. It was this
like an A-frame tower, or
like an A-frame tower, and then on this side you had to get up that was all muddy basically, and slippery and very steep, and then this side was netting to get down. And so we're trying to get up here. They're trying different methods, and then finally my coach, one of our other big dudes, they form the base and then get them on their shoulders, and then we create like a ladder, and we finally asked them, like, can we get in front of you guys, like, and we'll help you up. They're kind of off-putting, but anyways, this was a big point of like, holy crap, I can do a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
Because I got to the top, and we're, you know, grabbing people and bringing them up. And one of the dudes, like he kind of slipped reaching for my hand, and we're holding like this. And I like pull, and then I engage my lat, and I'm able, and this is a big dude. And I pull him up this whole thing, and because he can't get a grip with his feet or nothing. Nothing else with his other hand. And I just screamed through it and pulled him up, and I was like, holy crap, I just did that.
I'm picturing Sylvester Stallone in I think Cliffhanger.
Ew.
Wow,
to put me down.
How dare you?
but it was just like, that was a aha moment, like, holy crap, I can do more than what I thought. And that's a limitation I had before in my mind. So that was further proof of what I can handle, what I can do.
And what I'm hearing from you say as well is it's interesting seeing these chiseled people that should be flying over this, and them limited because of, I don't know, mindset or what?
Functional fitness, you know, like that's one thing too. We're jumping off boxes every day. We're doing pull-ups. We're rope climbing every day. You know,
they had gym muscles.
What's that? They
had gym muscles.
Yeah, and then versus standing there, and then it's like, jump around, move, let's go. It's such a big difference, and I'm not even necessarily saying that's the difference between CrossFit and gyms, but that's just the mind, like focusing on what your mind can actually handle.
So with Countdown to Moab, for us, it's this gnarly 28-mile trail that's is out to kill you if it wants to. And with distance, with the technical, with the exposure, all that stuff like that. Being on a mountain bike, grinding in and out. I wanted to speak to affirmations because I think that that's one thing that there's a billion books on, a billion podcasts even, and in my usage of them and what I've learned, it's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of bad affirmations out there, because I can't reference who I learned this from, but they're just like, you got to be careful with affirmations because your body knows. If you're like, I think a common one is like, I exude wealth. Wealth is just coming to me. Mm-hmm. I'm a millionaire, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like your body, your mind is like, bullshit. You're not. I see your bank account. It's at this. And maybe there's some magic in like getting from point A to point B to where you're getting outside yourself to where you are making more money, to where your bank account does. I don't know how that works or if it even does. But for myself, affirmations were a big key in correcting the mind when it would fear, when it would doubt, when it would trip me up and try to stop me from what I'm doing. And it was a daily like affirmations list that I generated to where I'm starting off the day in a positive, these are the truths about me, about what I'm doing, all that stuff like that. And then also when I'd be out on a trail or, like you say, needing to do box sets, like I wouldn't have people around me to jump, but I'd have these affirmations in place that would be like, I can do this. Yeah. I can do this. Okay, one more is fine. You got this. Your body's able to handle a lot more than you're allowing it to do. Go for it, kind of thing. And so, and I'll definitely be using it for Moab because Moab scares me. I mean, I'll be honest, it scares me because it is a lot of mileage. It is a full body workout for 28 miles. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, for sure. But it's also like, what if I have to use the restroom? What if I have to, what if I cramp up eating, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. And
tech features. And
exactly. And so, but I think it's the same thing for our listeners is like, what affirmations would you encourage for getting out of your comfort zone, for tackling something hard? You speak to, and this might be beside the point, but you speak to a person that you knew in CrossFit who she was just making gains left and right, like accomplishing things left and right, and was a very heavy person. And I don't know their names, nor does that need to come out, but you were just really inspired for her tenacity and ability. And it sounded like she really had that part of her. Maybe I'm pulling.
No, you're okay. 100% right. Yeah. She is amazing. And there are always people there that like, I remember there was an old guy. He would show up and he couldn't even squat down, like, because his knees.
Sounds like me.
I was gonna say, was it you?
With his back.
But no, he's like 60s and like, but like he started with like, these little squat, and then a month in, he's doing full squats or whatever with a bar, just the bar on the back. It's 45 pounds. It's heavy, and I remember our athlete coach, my coach, or for athlete class, he'd be like, you're the most inspiring person here. You are motivating me and getting me pumped for say, not the freaking meathead doing muscle ups.
He's pointing you.
Me. No, not me.
Not this meathead right here.
Can you imagine? He comes up to me, he's like, you're the most motivating. I'm like, that guy? Like, am I doing that bad? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, and she also was motivated the crap out of everyone because she had, and that was what I was kind of saying of like someone who had to start like a lot heavier is like, you have so much more to get through that we haven't had to experience. And that is not putting down in any way. That is noticing how hard you're working. Yeah. Like that is, you are kicking ass. And she would kick more ass than we did, or whatever, it's just, her and I, and with being a little heavier, she would she would use her strengths of like the assault bike. She would destroy the assault bike, and her and I would race because like I ride and stuff, and then we would race, and she'd always freaking win, even if it was by a little tiny bit. She would always beat me, and it was never like, oh, you beat me, because we would. I've never been a competitive person until CrossFit, and it motivates the crap out of me. And like when I hear the timer go off to go, I'm like, let's go. But we would always motivate each other and like push each other, and like, I bet you I'll win. And it was never putting someone down. Like it was just like fun. It was like, all right, let's compete. And then it's like, oh dude, you killed that, or you pushed me further. Like my teammates would push me further, not because I wanted to beat them, but just in a fun way. I wanted to compete with them, and they're impressive. I want to be impressive like them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and that's everyone on our team.
I think we're really dipping into community or segueing into the next episode.
Sorry.
But no, but it is. I mean, it is still of that mindset to. I mean, like there's so many times I'll see a heavier set person running.
Yeah,
and I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm inspired. Yeah. Like, go girl, like I want to like woo out the window or stop and let's run together and
let's go.
But they'd probably kill me or something, being like, who's this weirdo? But but I love that. I love the I don't like gyms. I found a gym that works for me because the time slot I go, I started going at 5 or 5:30 a.m. and I hated it. It was just like meatheads, and you had to fight for equipment, and like, I didn't walk around like, how do they walk?
You're taking pictures in the mirrors, and
I still do that. But no, sorry, you're skinny guy. But then I started going at 9. I would drop my kid off at school, and then go at 9, and I found a community there of old guys, and I loved it because they were in their 70s, but they would just. They would talk with each other, banter with each other, poke fun at each other, but they were doing it, and they were always there. They were so consistent, and they were doing things that I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm not even there yet. And they weren't just husky buff guys, but they were just maintaining their age and their athletic abilities. And but it was so inspiring. It's like, that's who I want to be like right there. These guys are grinding it in and day out. I mean, they're retired. They're, they have the time and stuff like that. Yet they're here, doing this. And it's just, I love that. And their mindset was, oh, I'm getting older, and some of it was like, I got to get healthier to live out the rest of my years. But a lot of it's just like the mindset of just like, I'm. This is my place. This is my gym. There was an ownership there. There was the competitive side. There was the mindset of you have value, I have value. Let's do this together. Like they brought me into their fold, I guess, what I'm getting at. And again, that's touching on community, but it's also the mindset of like, we're in this together. And I think that's huge when it comes to the mindset, because too often, either we're too afraid to have other people join in our mess or our insecurities or our doubts. But once you get past that, it gets beautiful. Like I'm part of like I said, I'm part of a social media group that they'll post their pictures, and they're always like, oh, I hate doing these, but this is a safe place. It's a private group, so that helps. And there'll be some people that are just like, hey, I broke, how do you say it? I'm under 300 pounds. I broke why am I blanking on it? Like, basically they wanted to get under 300 pounds, and they're just like, here I am. Like, and
299, son.
Yeah. And everybody's just like, oh yeah, I'm super affirming and all that stuff like that. And it's amazing what these people are able to accomplish, because I'm dipping into community too much, but
I know I'm about to stop you.
But it's fair. I mean, it's still of that mindset of like, let's not do this alone. Let's do this with other people. Let's invite other people in. And I think that's a big piece of mindset, because too often we're too ashamed, scared, afraid to let others into our mess or into our journey. I'm not good enough. I'm not. All the messages we tell ourselves that keep us from,
Get yourself around people that will tell you the right things about you, the correct things, what they see, the truths around you. So there is a lot I want to add, but it's community focused. So I do want to save that for the next episode, and it's really good and it's really important to me. What I do want to go is wrap back to affirmations. And actually this popped in my head. I want to thank you as my brother, because when I was going through a hard time living in Portland with depression and drinking and all that you didn't know about because I was keeping it to myself, you were setting a standard for me by doing the miracle morning. Do you remember that? The 5 a.m. every day, the affirmations, the exercise, the mindfulness, I still remember most of them.
Vision board. Yeah,
and a lot of those practices we still do to get through this.
Journal.
Reading and journaling. Yeah, we still do a lot of those things. But yeah, you were setting that example for me as your younger brother for yourself. And so I was learning a lot from that while I was going through a hard time. And I was trying to do it with you, but try, fail. And then take a step further back from that. We were talking about this not that long ago. When I was a kid, you were a snowboarder and I was getting into skating. And this is important.
Yeah.
This is huge. The speed wobbles. I remember I was bombing a hill and you were telling me, like, just tell yourself you're okay, that it's all right. And I was like, oh, okay. And I tried it and it worked. Because it overcorrected.
Yeah. Can I tell you my story on that?
Oh, yeah,
just
for
real quick?
For sure, yeah.
And we'll make room for this because I think it's very important, like you said. So when I would snowboard, I wasn't good, but I loved to bomb down the hills. And from that, though, you'll just be shooting down the slopes, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then your brain tries to overcorrect, right? It's almost like carrying a full glass of water or something like that.
Spills, so you can go this.
Yeah. And so you're watching it and you're trying to counterbalance every time the water does this, you're counterbalancing. But if you don't look at it, then you're fine.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same principle where it's just like I would get into these speed wobbles, try to overcorrect naturally, but then I'd start telling my brain, no, hey, you're good. We're good. This is fun. We're having a blast. And instantly, it's instantaneous where it's just like, oh, smooth again.
Yeah.
And I take that mountain biking, I take that into the workplace sometimes when I'm real nervous. So continue on.
Yeah, no, it sounds small, and it is, because that's how freaking simple it is.
Yeah, right.
We on Instagram or on social media, videos of dads and moms speaking affirmations to their kids in the mirror and teaching them. We're all like, oh, that's great. So freaking do that for yourself at 32 and 4, whatever old you are.
whoa, man, keep it civil.
Do it now. It's not for kids.
Yeah.
It's simple but it works. So it's easy. But it doesn't have to be that you say 100 affirmations to yourself every day and believe them. You're not going to believe them at first, but you keep freaking doing. You keep speaking truth. If you keep telling someone that you love them, they eventually will believe you because you're showing every day that you love them. Do it to your freaking self.
Yeah.
Sick and tired of people getting in their own ways. And I did it before this episode of just like, it's like, no, we got this. We talk like this every day on the freaking phone. Let's do it. Let's continue on and do it in a different format.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, and to reference back, the Miracle Morning was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
My whole life changed around those principles of feeding myself truths and keeping that forefront every day.
Yeah.
And I did that for several years, and I still do pieces of it because now it's natural.
Yeah.
But it's transformative. So anyways, we're cutting for time.
Yes.
We've spoke a lot into community as well. So that's the segue into next week.
We definitely just started tapping into community.
Oh yeah.
We have not gotten into the meat and bones of it.
Meat and butter, the fat. No,
Fat is good.
Potatoes?
Makes your brain function.
Starch.
That's where we'll talk about diets.
So that's next week. We didn't get to Q&As, but that's just how it goes.
You asked me a lot of questions, and I asked you no questions. So
that's okay. I'm used to that, and that's the little brother aspect.
True.
For sure,
See, that's part of the growing thing.
Absolutely. So see you next week. Feel free to put in comments on social media. Any questions, anything that we can help with, or bring more to light, or reference.
Write out your affirmations.
Write
4, 5.
Whoa.
5.
Is it 4 or 5?
5.
Okay, 5.
I was waiting for you to ask, is it 4 or 5? 5. Just something like, oh, I'm worth loving. I'm worth being loved. Either by yourself, by someone else. Anyway.
I love you.
I love you too, dude. I really do. I don't act like it, but I'm just kidding. I freaking love you. And if you would like, share your affirmations with us on social media. They could help us. They're like, oh, I've never thought of that. And that is part of community coming together. And we will dive into that.
We'd love to be your community.
We would love to be your community. Especially, if you don't have community or don't have people I have a brother. If you don't have, someone that you can bounce off, let us be your community. We can talk, let us speak truth into your life. We'll see you next week.
Perfect. Bing.